Welcome to Cooking with Marijuana. It's Matt, your host, and today's recipe is sweet potato biscuits. Now, sweet potato biscuits are a savory biscuit that we're going to make with sweet potatoes in the dough, and of course we're going to be using marijuana butter. Okay, here are the items you're going to need. 3/4 cup of mashed sweet potato. That's about 1 large sweet potato. 1/3 to 1/2 cup of milk as needed. 1.5 cup all-purpose flour. 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 6 tablespoons of cold, unsalted cannabutter. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees and grease a cookie sheet. Now the first step is going to be to prepare our sweet potato. We're going to need to chop it, boil it, mash it, and then cool it. Now we're going to take our 3/4 cup of mashed sweet potato and we're going to add 1/3 cup of milk. Then we're going to whisk that together. Okay, then we can set that aside and now we're going to assemble our dry ingredients. Now we're taking our 1.5 cups of flour. We're adding 2 tablespoons of sugar. We're also going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And 1 teaspoon of salt. And then sift that together. Now for the next step, we're going to add our cannabutter. I'm going to need 6 tablespoons. This is 8 tablespoons, so I'm going to go ahead and half this. And then I'm going to half that again. And I'm going to reserve this 2 tablespoons back for something that we'll use later. And the remaining butter I need to chop into small pieces. Okay, now we're going to cut the butter into the flour. I'm using a pastry cutter, but as I said, you could use 2 knives, you can use a fork, you can use other methods. But we're going to cut this into the butter, and the flour into the butter. You're going to keep cutting it until it resembles a coarse meal. Now we're going to combine our mixture of sweet potato and milk with our cannabutter and dry ingredients. You're going to do this gently and you're going to gently fold them together until they're mixed well. I'm using a metal spoon as always with the marijuana to keep it from absorbing into the wood or plastic. But again, you'll want to be gentle with this process. You'll want to continue working your mixture until it's all combined, and if you need to add a little more milk, then add a splash more milk, but only as much as needed to combine the ingredients. Now we've turned the dough out onto a floured surface, and just using enough flour to keep yourself from sticking, we're going to either pat or roll this out into about a 1/2 inch thickness. Now we have our dough rolled out. I'm going to cut it into biscuits. I'm using a cup here that's about 2.5 inches. If you have a biscuit cutter, that would be best, but a cup will work fine. So now we're going to cut these out into biscuits. We're then going to place our biscuits on our greased cookie sheet. Now we're going to continue doing this until all of the biscuits are made. Now our biscuits are all panned up and it's time to put them in our oven. These are going to cook for 12 to 15 minutes until they're golden brown and until they're firm to the touch. Oh, hey, you caught me in the middle of something. While our biscuits are cooking, I thought I would share a little idea that I had. If you're like me and you have any butter left over, and perhaps if you want the biscuits to be stronger and to add more marijuana to it, and if you have a little honey, you can make some honey butter with your marijuana butter by adding about 1 part of honey for every 3 or 4 parts of butter. So I'm going to go ahead and make me up some honey butter. All right, so our biscuits are done. I've taken the honey butter that I had and I brushed the top of this biscuit that I'm going to eat now. And you could do that with the rest of the biscuits, or you could put butter inside of it. They're really delicious. If you like this recipe, please hit the like button. Make some suggestions on some recipes that you'd like to see me cook with marijuana, and I'll be happy to do so. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and have a great day.